Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now made up by Disney, or current Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it. Legends. So, as of this recording, Matt Wilkins is on Jedi Outcast, which is the first book in the Fated Jedi series. So I have most certainly beat him to the end, which I don't know why I felt like it. The main reason was I want to watch his videos when they come out, and I did not want to have to skip any and watch later simply because I was behind. So I made sure I was ahead, and I'm doing a good job at that so far. Anyway, if you're watching, I love you. Your videos are fantastic. Love all of them. Love watching you. And then when I can join your live streams, it's always nice just hearing your thoughts. You know, no matter who you're talking to, even when you're talking about stuff I don't care about, like sports and whatnot. Anyway, if everybody else who's watching this, if you don't know who Matt Wilkins is, look up Matt Wilkins. You need to subscribe to that man. His videos are far superior to anything that I'll ever release for you. They're about the Star Wars Expanded Universe. If you like the Star Wars Expanded Universe, you should like him. And if you don't, something's wrong with you. No, I'm just kidding. But he's really cool, and there'll be stuff you'll find. Like if you think, oh, I'm this big Star Wars Expanded Universe like expert, you might find some stuff in his series that you may not have known about. So it's an interesting look. But anyway, we're getting ever nearer to the very end of the timeline, which is crazy. But we have the end of the Legacy series with Cade Skywalker, and that is Legacy War issues 1 to 6. Non-spoiler wise, Cade has returned. He is not dead. He's more powerful than ever. They kind of brush over that. I'm still kind of confused as to how he got stronger and better, but it's fine. Conclusions come with Cade. Character developments are finished. Some things that I kind of predicted all along the way and didn't really talk about in case it was a spoiler happens because I kind of figured it would, because there's so many. Because why bring it up otherwise? Which we'll get to in spoilers. There's 2 big final battles. There's not only one, there are 2. Losses are had, victories are made, and happy endings are had. Cade has definitely been one of my favorite villains. The only issue I actually have with this series as a whole, and it's really just a nitpick, well, there's 2 things. I felt like this 6 issues, I felt like it ended abruptly. I felt like the final duel was a bit abrupt, and I felt like the ending was a bit abrupt. And I just felt like Darth Cade should have been a part of it more. But, he's also in other material, from what I understand. So perhaps if I read everything with him, I'd feel like I got enough of him. But I just didn't feel like I did. And I would have liked to see more. But that's okay. But overall, this whole Legacy series has been fantastic. Now, I know we still have Legacy 2 with Anya Solo or whatever. But I think that's like a separate story. But I don't know how connected it is to this. But as for this series, with all the characters we've been introduced to and everything, it has been phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. And I'm excited to hear Matt Wilkins' feelings on it. But as for me, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought, it was different. I thought it was different in how Cade Skywalker as a character is so different from characters that we've met before, and yet similar in some ways. And yet he also has powers that seem to be very different from a lot of the other Jedi or Sith that we've met. So I really like that. I like the side characters. I like how Sin is a bounty hunter, but also Cade's best friend and brother, and how he's able to use Vong weapons. I've loved that about him. As for Cade and Blue, there are definitely more fleshed out relationships. Han and Leia will always be number 1, followed I actually don't think I would put Luke and Mara as second. I think I put them as third. Trying to think. I probably might actually put Cornhorn and Myrax above Luke and Mara. I might get killed for that one, but I think so. But it was still a nice relationship between Blue and Cade, and I'm just happy for him that they love each other. And because at first I wasn't exactly sure, because I've never really been a big fan of like, oh, they just hook up, which it kind of seemed like that's what it was in the beginning, especially when he cheated on her. Bad move, Cade. But no, they have a genuine love for one another, and that's just something I find sweet. What can I say? I don't feel Darth Nihil or Darth Talon were used enough, I guess, because they were probably the ones I found the most interesting. And then Wirelock was interesting too. I just felt like we could have got more with them. But overall, great series, and I am so excited and yet kind of sad that we're nearing the end of it. I mean, there's still going to be a whole bunch more stuff that we'll view together, prequel era and stuff, but it's crazy how we're almost done with the timeline. But yeah, if you don't want spoilers, if you had not read these comic book issues yet, please don't spoil yourself. Go read it. But if you've already read these before because you're a veteran, or you just don't care about spoilers, come on and join me as we talk about the finale to the Legacy series. Alright, so we get to issue 1. Right now there's a civil war in the first issue among the Sith because, Darth Cade is back and he's super pissed, as, I imagine a lot of people would be, because Darth Wirelock betrayed him. It seems like, after he went on that mission, maybe it was even before that, I'm not exactly sure. Darth Wirelock seemed like he really tried to fall back into the mindset of older Sith. Maybe not Bane, because Bane was about the rule of 2, and there's far more than 2 Sith. But he definitely, did the whole betrayal thing, that everyone always does. I mean, I guess Bane kept that as well. But he just fell into old ways, and Crate was trying to do something new, and he's like, this is how it should be done, and this, whatever. And he got his butt handed to him, as he should. So that was but we'll get to that. Cade's mom has regret over, not being around. So that was nice to see. And then, of course, we have Wirelock versus Darth Crate. And that was super fun. Didn't last too long. It seems like a lot of these lightsaber battles don't last too long, which is fine. It's a comic book. But especially that final battle between Cade and, which we'll get to, I'm just like, it's a comic book. Like, this should be like epic, but it ends really quickly. Anyway, so that's issue 1. Issue 2, Lottie seems like she's gone crazy, which is, we later find out it's not the case. But as for issue 2, she seems to have gone mad, wants Cade dead, and says she'll give Emperor Fel the virus if he'll only cooperate. He doesn't cooperate at that point. But later on, we find out she's not actually crazy. She's doing exactly what Crate wants her to do. Morgan Cord, Neelix, whatever you want to say for her. Cade's mom gets found out, gets shot at, does get injured, is also poisoned. Sorry, I should add, she was poisoned. Then she fights Veed, who is her lover person. They, then she shoots him, but he survives. He shoots her. She survives, gets away. He doesn't know that, though. That happens. Because, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, the cyborg dude that works with Emperor Fel is a traitor, and he completely gets away with it, right? By the end of the series, is that going to be addressed? Because he just completely got away with it. Like, he betrayed so many people, and he just got away with it. I don't know if that's going to be addressed later on. But anyway, Crate has a vision that Cade will turn. And I believe Cade has a vision that, he sees him fighting Cade and then darkness and doesn't know what happens after that. But he knows what he has to do. His destiny is to fight Cade. Issue 3. Cade's uncle returns to the Jedi. He dons the robes yet again, Uncle Bantha, and he pulls out his lightsaber, which is yellow, which you just don't see too much, so it's cool. The entire scene between Cade and his mom was really, really good. Oh man, that was such a hurtful scene. She's dying because of the poison that's in her. She doesn't ask to be healed, she just asks for forgiveness. Cade refuses to heal her, but his father, in the ghost form, spirit form, asks him to save her, if not for her sake, then for his, because he's forgiven her, because he still loves her. And in that, Cade is able to forgive his mother, and it was just a really, really, really nice scene, and I really enjoyed that one. There's a lot of good moments like that with Cade, mostly with his, visions, like with Luke and stuff, but Cade is definitely one of my favorite characters now of the expanded universe. He's really cool. He also gives me a little bit of Kip Duran vibes, which is always appreciated. Draco lives, because I think this might have happened in issue 1, or it might have happened during the Legacy issues. I don't know exactly. I think it was during the actual Legacy series. But he goes to save the princess. He does, but he gets captured. He's tortured. But we find out he lives. He's just in carbonite. And so they eventually thaw him out. The first epic battle that I talked about in the non-spoiler is to happen at the Jedi Hidden Temple. The plan is to completely surprise the Sith and the Empire and destroy them. And so the epic battle begins. And it's kind of like there's a lot of fighting going on. Issue number 4. Crate's personal troops arrive. The secret troops that are completely obedient that he made. They show up on the scene. A lot of them look like not all of them, but some of them have like Mando looking helmets. Are they supposed to be like Mandalorians that he captured or something? Like, I'm not exactly sure. Also, before I finish, there's that one issue where the guy went back to being a Mandalorian with his wife. What happened with that? That was just never brought up again? I thought like maybe they'd help in the final battle or something. That's just never addressed. And so that was a bit of a negative for me. Maybe they were setting up for a spin-off comic. I don't know. But they just never bring it up again. And so I was a bit confused as to why that was. I don't know. Anyway. Both Yages in issue 4. In issue 4. Both Yages defect because, the daughter, who's a sister to Cade, the Sith woman that's in charge of her asks her to shoot down children. And she says, there's no honor in that. I refuse to shoot down children. And so she defects, and another Sith is going to order that everyone fire upon her, and her father shoots that guy. So they're both team good now. The Sith ships are coming down at this spot where there's a battle going on. And Cade's uncle, Bantha, he force pushes Cade away, and the tree sort of Jedi thing and him somehow use the Force. Not exactly sure how that works, but they use the Force to like have this energy like shoot up and blow up a bunch of ships, but they both die. So Bantha now is dead. And by the end of this issue, we see that Fells had it. They were defeated. They had a defeat at this first battle at the hidden temple. And so now he wants to use the toxin. Little does he know that Melody hasn't gone crazy. She's absolutely working for Cade. And this toxin she made, which I don't know why they didn't check it or anything. I guess I don't know how you would check it, but it's not going to target the Sith. I don't know how it discriminates among Sith and normal people, because Sith isn't, I mean, there was a race of Sith, but they're not that race. They're just following the creed, I guess, right? So maybe somehow it's messed with dark side power, so it knows not to hurt dark side users, I guess. But it's going to kill everyone else. So that's bad. Issue 5. I didn't mention it too much, but Cade talks about it fairly regularly, where he says, stuff about shatter points. Shatter points was a thing with Mace Windu. In fact, there's a novel wholly dedicated. I don't know what it's about, but the title of it is Shatter Points, so I'd imagine it has something to do with the ability. I'm not exactly sure, because I haven't really read the Legends material with Mace Windu other than the Episode 3 novelization where he also mentions it. But as far as I understood it, you could see like possible futures. I don't know if he was able to see weaknesses like Cade can. Maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. I don't know. I'll see in the future. But it's a unique ability that I don't believe too many Jedi have. So it definitely speaks to Cade's power and ability, because I think Luke eventually learned it, but he did not for a long time. And I think Jason knew it too. I'm not sure. But it's just an interesting thing, because he mentions it quite a bit. Like, he says, oh, I can see all your shatter points and stuff. So I thought I mentioned it now. I don't know if I mentioned it before. This is not really anything story related, but they have a ship called the Jagged Fell. And I was just so happy. I'm like, he deserves like 50,000 ships named after him. I love Jag. Sadly, his descendant does not live up to him, but we'll get to that. Veed finally dies. They go to Coruscant. This is where the big epic final battle is going to happen, just like Fate of the Jedi's final novel had. Final battle on Coruscant, and Morgan Cord sends her regards, shoots Veed dead. And I guess, see, this was also kind of weird. Wolf, who was Cade's former master, goes to attack the big brawny Sith dude. And they start fighting, and they seemingly both slash each other's stomachs. They both fall down. I didn't see Wolf's body, so I guess he just disappeared like Obi-Wan did in episode 4 and episode 6 with Yoda. But it's just brushed over really quickly. So I wrote Wolf dead ? And then when I didn't see him again and the series was completely over, I went, okay, I guess he really is just dead. Because, I try to hold off on that, because whenever somebody's like, oh, he's dead, oh no, sometimes they end up showing up in like the next issue or the next page. So I held off on that. But now he's just straight up dead. So we lose Bantha and we lose Wolf in this series. And then we move to issue number 6, the final issue in the Legacy War series. There's big battles going on, on the surface, in the sky. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's doing their part to fight the Sith Empire. Fel tells Draco how they're going to use the toxin to kill the Sith, even though he doesn't know that it's not going to kill the Sith at all. But even still, everyone else thinks it will kill not only the Sith, but everyone. What they're wrong about is it won't kill the Sith, but that's what they think. It will kill everyone, including the Sith. And they think that's a very dark side move. And even Fel's daughter says, you can't do that, man. And he, puts her down and says, well, you're not as loyal as Draco is, and Draco's going to help me here. Draco refuses to help. We cut back. Cade fights Crate for one epic final battle. And then Crate shows him a vision. And then he says, Cade says, I know who I am. I'm a Jedi. And kills Crait. He's dead. But now Crait's maybe in his mind messing with him, gonna somehow, even if he the worry is that his body might be able to heal somehow. Not exactly sure how that works, but that's a possibility. So Cade's gonna throw him into the sun. But Cade could also be influenced by him somehow to where he could take over. I'm kind of confused by that. But so he plans on putting himself in the sun as well. We cut back to Draco and Fel. They fight. And this is where I said I kind of saw this coming. Because earlier on in the series, they mention, we serve the Emperor as is embodied by the Force. But if the Emperor's doing stuff that is dark side leaning, then we need to either convince him to return to the light, and if that doesn't work, we have to put him down. And I imagine, again, that was something established by Jack Fel and Jaina Solo. I have no proof of that because we don't have more expanded universe, but I would imagine that's how that went down. But of course, Draco follows the true path of the Imperial Knights, which is to serve the Force utmost and foremost, and so has to fight Fel to the death, and Emperor Fel does in fact die, saving Coruscant from a devastating plague that would kill everyone except the Sith. The Sith retreat. It seems as if they're going to try to do the Palpatine route, the Darth Plagueis route. They're going to infiltrate government. They're going to work in the shadows and be the Phantom Menace. They didn't say that, but that's, it seems like that's what they're trying to do. I don't even know if that will be addressed in the next series. I guess we'll see. As far as I understand it, the only thing I know about the next series is we have new main characters and a new Darth. So I don't know. We have the Galactic Federation Triumvirate, which will be led by Stax, or whatever his name is, the guy that was the head of the Galactic Federation. We have Karuk, the Jedi, who might be in the old comics, or the earlier comics that take place earlier, I don't know, but that dude, Whippish, he will be a Whippid, or whatever it is, he will be a part of it, and then Fel's daughter, and the three of them will make this new triumvirate. And Delilah Blue and Sin go looking for Cade. They find him because he decided, he talks to Luke Skywalker one last time, and he decides to make up his own mind, so he ejects himself from the ship, and he no longer hears Crait's voice as Crait burns in the sun. And they kind of just have a happy ending. And that is it. Seemingly all is at peace, but everything always seems at peace, and then something else arises, doesn't it? But yeah, that was Legacy War. Was definitely a fun series to read. I like what they did with the Imperial Knights. I think that's one of the greatest additions to this comic. Is just having these Jedi-like people, but they serve the Empire. I always love having former enemies become good guys. Now, I know we have the Empire that's technically the bad guy, but it's controlled by Sith, who have always been the bad guys. But I like how they tried making the Vong being a more sympathetic light by, being like, yeah, you did bad in the past, but there's forgiveness. Let's work together to build a bridge between you and the people who have so many biases against you, because, rightfully so. So many people died. So they're trying to heal that wound, but the Sith ruined that. And then, of course, we have the Fel Empire, where you have a Jedi-like people working there with this empire, and it's just sort of like a merger, and I like that. And I loved how it wasn't because see, that's why I didn't like the Sith Lost Tribe of the Sith, because it was just more of the same. They weren't as compelling as Jason. They weren't as interesting as Palpatine or Vader. They weren't as interesting as Bane, or even I mean, I guess I haven't read this stuff before that, but even if they are exactly the same, by this point in time, by the Fate of the Jedi series, it's been seen, it's been done, right? And I know that the Sith are around in this series, but Crate has a different philosophy. He's trying to do things differently. And maybe it crumbles because Sith fall into old ways, but that is still more interesting that he tried something new. He tried to be different. And that's what I appreciate. It was something different. He had, earlier on, we heard him talk about stuff. He was an interesting character. He had a different sort of philosophy than the rest. Even the old Sith of old, their spirits made fun of him for it, you know? Even Bane like called him a pretender or whatever. And so I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the new characters. I enjoyed having a Skywalker as a bounty hunter for once. I thought that was an interesting take. And I don't have too many complaints about the series other than that one issue that just looked like utter trash visually wise. And also, that's another thing. So I believe that there are Stormtrooper characters that do make an appearance in this, but they never mattered. Nothing they do really matters. So why even have that issue? And then the same thing with the bounty hunter dude, or with the Mandalorian. They have this whole issue revolving around that. So I imagine they were gonna get mixed in at some point, and they were just completely irrelevant. And those are the only things that bothered me. Other than that, I have almost no complaints about the series. The writing was great. The art was usually excellent, and the world where it's at when it begins is super interesting. So I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. If not, let me know in the comment section below. If you did, let me know what your favorite part was. And as always, I'll see you next time as we read Legacy 2 in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Until next time, may the Force be with you.